Day 2 of the inquest into the death of former ANC President General Chief Albert Luthuli has concluded for the day after the court heard compelling evidence challenging the findings of the original inquest. Velimina Luthuli, the daughter-in-law of Chief Albert Luthuli, testifying today that the apartheid government deliberately concealed the true circumstances surrounding his death. She told the Pietermaritzburg High Court that Lutuli was in good health at the time of his sudden death in July 1967. Let's get more detail now from Newzroom Afrika's Qaanitah Hunter, who is tracking developments for us in court. Qaanitah, good evening to you. And what more are we learning about the circumstances that led to Chief Albert Luthuli's death in 1967?
Well, we are, been taken back to the time where the apartheid government was extremely repressive against anyone that it seemed or deemed to be an enemy or a critic, with Welheminah Luthuli telling the court that in the 3 months before Lutuli died, where she lived with the Lutuli family as a new daughter-in-law, that he came under a lot of pressure, that he was under house arrest several times. She says when she got married, she didn't know who Chief Albert Luthuli was. She was just 20 years old at the time. She moved in with her in-laws, and it was only after her aunt told her who he was and the role that he was playing in fighting and opposing the government of the day did she realize his stature and importance. But at the time, there were numerous reports that he was of ill health, but she says that was not the case. He would wake up early in the morning, tend to his business, tend to the fields, and also at night spend his time reading the Bible. So she says when the news came at 9 o'clock in the morning on the 21st of July 1967 that her father-in-law was rushed to hospital after an accident, it came at a huge shock. She was alone at home at the time. Her mother-in-law had gone to the fields by that time already. She had taken a 32 minute to an hour bus ride to the nearest hospital where Chief Lutuli was, and she says that the injuries that he had suffered, she saw, were very perplexing. He was alive for a while and then passed away in the presence of his family members. But Velimina Luthuli is saying to the court that they, at the time, did not accept the version that he had died by an accident caused by a goods train. Until now, she maintains that view.
So, Qaanitah, the court continuing tomorrow?
Absolutely. There's a number of evidence and witnesses that will be called. The state will continue calling family witnesses and then move on to politicians, people who knew and worked with Chief Lutuli at the time, to sort of characterize what would the modus operandi be for the government of the day to allegedly kill Chief Lutuli and then subsequently conceal his death. You'd recall earlier today there was evidence led by police investigators who were looking into the case, and they said that they could not find the train driver that was cited in the initial inquest in 1967, the conductor of the train, nor the fireman that was called to the scene. But what they did find was records in the National Archive, which they sought through the Department of Justice. In that records, about 600 pages, they found a circular, a hidden circular, from the magistrate who led the 1967 inquest into Lutuli's death. That circular was written days before he even heard any evidence into Lutuli's death, and the magistrate, C.I. Boswell, wrote that it was unlikely that he would find any other conclusion besides the fact that his death was an accident. And so the state asserting to this court today that that circular was the basis for its argument that the magistrate had preconceived notions and concealed critical evidence that they will be presenting in coming days.
Important information indeed coming out of that particular inquest. Thank you very much for this evening.